Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks, part 2 of this. I've left links at part 1, and I'm going to leave the link. This is Cuddle. Cuddle has a lot of other things you can do besides this. I mean, there's the latest one, crossword ornament, slot tester, I mean, name tags. I mean, look at that. Now, I could draw that, and I can draw boxes, but not as quick as Cuddle. And I could do that. And we're going to go over how I did that. The other one I'm going to talk about is a young man from Creative Cut Supplies, and he sells plywood probably mainly, and I've used his plywood, and it's great plywood, but he has a product called Dual Type, and we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about true flat plywood. They've got black, white, maple, oak, and you know, a little bit about oak. Oak doesn't engrave good. Well, theirs does, because it's not really oak. Unbelievably, this is a painted product. But I've been a woodworker since I'm 72 years old, since junior high, and they had me fooled. I thought it was a veneer. You know, you can get wood packs, starter packs. I mean, look at stuff they could do. But anyway, the really part of this video is about how I put it together. I took, about Cuddle's program. They give you blue lines, they give you everything. And I'm going to go, it comes in an SVG. I'm going to go to Object and Group and ungroup all. I'm going to get rid of that. That is a marking area for your back piece to put this into. You don't need it. So take that out of the way. Well, number one rule, and I hope Cuddle's listening, turn it into a hairline. And, you know, make sure it's an RGB hairline. It'll cut better maybe. Get that out of the way. Then take this, and this is your guts to the operation. And we're going to take the outside of it and nudge it over, turn it into a hairline. I'd go ahead and turn it into an RGB red. I'm going to take the Jones and the date, and I'm going to right click and make sure it's an RGB black. I'm going to nudge it over. I'm going to take this red cut line, and I'm going to nudge it over. And now you have blue lines that are, the blue lines are going to be vector lines, so we need to turn that into a hairline. And once you've done this twice, you won't have any problem. Now, I'm going to get rid of this one because I'm going to have it find all those blue lines. I am going to grab a blue line. I'm going to go to Edit, Find and Replace, from Selection, Find All, and hit Control G to group them. Now, I'm going to nudge these over. See, that's what it is. It's just marking the wood that doesn't cut all the way through. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Then, take your letters and make them an RGB black and move them over. Now, you've got a piece of wood that's 4 by whatever. Let's make it a 4. And let's put it, well, we're going to put it in the top of the page. And see, it just, my graphic just barely fits on there. If you want to make them a little bit bigger, you could rotate that 90 degrees, or even play it safely. You could rotate it 90 degrees and have that ear part or the eyelet on the longer side. take this piece of wood and cut you a piece of dual type and stick it to the back. The whole thing, it'll be a big square, 4.5 by 4.5 piece. I wish I would have taken a picture of that. And I have a squeegee, and they sell squeegees. I picked many of these up at trade shows. And really, squeegee is hard down to the wood. Then turn the wood over and have the dual tite on the back. I'm going to move this out of the way so it's off the screen. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue lines. I don't really think it matters in Corel if they're blue or red or green, but I'm going to make them a red line, and I'm going to turn them into a hairline. Then I'm going to do this first. I should have taken a picture of this. If I used alder on the outside of the ornament, and it cuts on my laser really easy at 10 speed. So at 100 power, I cut this at like 100 power at 50 speed and about 1/8 of an inch up out of focus. And it will mark these lines so it's a vector cut. You can engrave them, but it's going to take so long to engrave them. And well, you can see when the proof's in the pudding, the line between looks like the cut line, and the picture does it no justice. And I ran it and just ran it out of focus. Now I'm going to move that up out of the way, and I'm going to run this guy. I nudged it right back where the other ones are. And I'm on my epilogue laser. I'm sure most lasers have a combo job. I'm going to engrave and cut this all at one time. Now, from what I could tell from Cuddle, these lines don't have any outlines or these words, text, so you don't have to worry about them cutting, but I would always check. Then run that as a combo job. This piece is going to fall out. And that's why Cuddle has that marking area. Well, just put the piece that falls out in the ornament, and there's your slot for your marking area. And then so I would put the ring on first. I have to take an X-Acto knife, I don't have any fingernails, to peel up the dual tite. And if I was going to make a bunch of these, I would find a dowel exactly that size. It's kind of helped me indexing it. I did a good job. And then stick it down all the way around. And this dual tite will stick. Now it's only for indoors. I think they're working on an outdoor. And then peel off the dual tite on the letters. Do not pull off the dual tite on the back of this. And put this in the hole. And then bring your letters in. And I actually didn't even wipe them off. This is an alder. You have to wipe it off. I wipe it off with alcohol. I stuck them in there like that, and then I wiped off the whole thing. And then all I did was pop this piece out, which would be that, piece right there. And the end result, that's so easy and I think it's going to be I don't sell stuff really. I was going to say it's going to be a big seller, but I'm going to leave these links. Check them out. I'm not connected with them any way. These people have sent me samples, and Cuddle years ago sent me the software. It's a membership, but there's so much stuff on there, and they come out at least every 3 weeks with a new product. They have a bunch of people writing templates for them. But dual tite, and he's got a really good plywood. True flat. It's a HDF, like MDF, but it's high density fiberboard. And the word true flat, I've had a sheet in my shop now for 5 weeks, and I've got it, now it's even standing up in the corner, and it's still flat. But anyway, I'm not, like I said, I'm 100% not promoting them. I like telling what's out there. This dual tight is a game changer. I used to put glue and then had a little squeeze out, especially around to glue this little piece right here. You're going to have some squeeze out. With the dual tight, there's no squeeze out. It's just tape. So go to their website and look at that. Anyway, have fun. Thank you for watching.